subluxation is huge. I mean, extremely huge when you're talking about your health, but there's so many foundational components that support that, making sure that subluxation, when it's removed, is held, and one of those things being stretching.
If health is a state of mental, physical, spiritual, and social well-being, a state in which the body is functioning at 100% and not merely the absence of disease, then why is it that black people are the least healthy race on the planet?
Welcome to Black Health by Evoke, a podcast where we discuss the unfair access to care, health inequality, and the cultural and generational impact of poor health in our communities.
It's time for us to take responsibility for our own health. Meet Dr. E, Dr. T, and myself, Dr. V. We want black people to be encouraged and empowered, for our people are perishing for lack of knowledge. It's time for black health to thrive, not just survive.
Good day, fellas. Good day. What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, good morning. Happy New Year, fellas. Happy New Year.
Man, it's
Happy New Year. Life is great.
Man, a new one, man. Excited about life.
Yeah, I was given another day, man. Given another day.
That's right. We had to make sure that they play this one somewhere around New Year's.
I'm sorry. Good morning. Good morning on this day of, I don't want to give the date or anything.
Good morning.
We take care of that in post-production.
Right.
Man, it's a great morning, man. As always, I think for us, doing these things early in the day is great because the mind is going. The day is still quiet outside. The birds are still chirping. I mean, if the birds were actually here in St. Louis, but it's 15 degrees, so they're not.
Well, it's a little cooler in Chicago, but that gets us to really gets us to, it's important because the birds leave because they get a little tight.
Yeah.
A little cool, a little frigid.
It's a little harder to flap them wings in the wintertime. Right?
unless you see in the back of the bird get very little,
Right.
But that really, shows us that it's something that's important as far as having movement, having motion, having flexibility.
Yeah, man. It's underrated.
Mm-hmm.
It's highly underrated, right? Because it's quality. That goes to quality of life, right? How well you're able to move. Them stairs, that getting out of the bed, right? And enjoying your family, that being able to do stuff, grocery shopping on your own, independence, all of those things, man. So being able to move is just, it's what life is all about.
Dr.
Life
Tipley,
is movement.
I was going to ask you something, Dr. Tipley, because I remember you did personal training for quite a while. And one thing you did that was different than the other personal trainers when we were in the gym is you would have educational sessions with them before they started, and I believe that's why they got the results that they got. And a huge thing you talked about, you had a component of stretching and its importance or value. Now, what were those three things that you used to kind of always emphasize?
Anytime, man, before working out, I think stretching is very important. So, when I was personal training, that was the one thing that before I started working anybody out and after I had a workout with someone, that was the main thing that we did was stretch for at least 30 minutes before and after the workouts because there's just a lot of health benefits to it. There's just a lot of benefit to being able to stretch. And, when it comes to us as we get older, we blame a lot of things on old age when it comes to the way that we move about. And I know you mentioned like going up and down the stairs or even just taking simple walks with our loved ones. It becomes difficult for some people as they get older. And, one simple thing that can rectify a lot of that is stretching on a daily basis.
Yeah, I think stretching is one of those things that's really underrated for everybody, not just people who are inactive or people who are older, even people who exercise, right? People who exercise every single day. I know if I'm short on time or I'm a little tired in the morning, the thing that usually gets compromised is my stretching.
Yeah.
But I pay for it. I pay for it the next morning. 'Cause, working out pretty hard and then not stretching.
Oh yeah.
It's the difference between actually being in my 40s and being like in my 70s when I get up in the morning.
But this is the thing
if I don't take that time.
And, we think that we drink water, right? That it's we're going to be relaxed, and it does have a component of helping muscle relaxation. But if you're not stretching the muscle, you can't disperse the water to the area, right? To help the muscle relax, to flush out toxins that are within the muscle, and also too to help the have elasticity in the muscle as far as promoting healthy healing. So
let's talk about some of those benefits, right? Let's talk about some of those benefits to stretching and why stretching is so important. Dr. Vaught, the first one you mentioned was, getting water around the body, which is related to our first one, which is increasing oxygen distribution.
Yes. And we know that the body breaks down water because there's two atoms. They're atoms and they're small. Even if I put it really small, you couldn't see, it's an atom. And so the body breaks those apart, elements, right? It breaks them apart and it puts the oxygen within your body and the hydrogen in the other part. So if you're stretching, you have more space for that oxygen and that hydrogen to be able to be dispersed for your body. Dr. E. Boom.
So in short, what he's saying is stretching helps to improve circulation, blood flow, which is carrying oxygen throughout the body. So when you're stretching and your muscles have elasticity and they're moving and you're contracting and stretching and relaxing them, that helps to just improve that blood flow throughout the body, which in turn is going to increase the oxygen going to the muscles.
Exactly. And that circulation throughout the body is beneficial. In short. What you really meant was in translation.
and we can't forget that our arteries are actually smooth muscle. So the less stress that's on the arteries is going to help blood circulation, blood flow, and also as well as that oxygen movement. So that's
crazy. Less stress on the arteries translates directly into lower
cardiovascular
That's
health,
crazy how this all fits together, right? It's crazy how the body works, and what God created, and how simple and complex it is at the same time, right? If you stretch, you get more oxygen to the body, the arteries do better. Guess what? When the arteries do better, the heart does better, and when the heart does better, guess what? Your blood pressure is better.
Yeah.
And you got to take them pills.
So chiropractic patients,
see how that all fits together?
And the chiropractic patients, when they come into our clinics, doc, it's the man, I'm subluxated, and subluxation is huge. I mean, extremely huge when you're talking about your health, but there's so many foundational components that support that, making sure that subluxation, when it's removed, is held, and one of those things being stretching.
Well, I tell you another thing that's important when it comes to stretching. You think about society and the posture that we're in today. I think one of the things nowadays, you got a lot of people working from home, a lot of people that have jobs are sitting at a desk all day, or they're standing and walking around all day. So that repetitive type of stress that we put on the body, that repetitive type of positionings and postures that we're in, actually causes muscles to not be as pliable, as flexible and elastic as they should be. So that can also lead to a lot of issues in regards to, low back pain, knee pain, and all those things. So stretching is one of those things that really helps to improve the elasticity of the muscles. It helps to stretch the muscles out, and it improves our ability to just move.
You know what I got, because I keep hearing about this, and I hear the things about the people being at home and the working and things like that. So if I'm at home and I'm working, and I have an ergonomic chair, and I have a pillow, and I got like the foot bath for my feet, and it's heated, and it massages me while I'm sitting there for the 8 hours. Do I? See, that Everett must want this one. Do I need the stretch? I mean, because I got everything there as far as technology wise, because stretching, you know, I guess stretching can be met with the demand of technology if you look at it. So I don't have to move.
Dr. Vaught, all you did was made yourself comfortable to sit there even longer.
Right. So that your muscles can do this the entire time, so they can contract for that 7 hours that you sit in front of your computer looking at spreadsheets.
Drinking water, doesn't it still kind of get down in there and help to remove, you know, help with cushioning the discs and helping elasticity in the muscles, and doesn't it help to do that?
No. So you know, to go back to that awesome image that you gave me of somebody that's supposed to be working, but they look like they're in a spa.
Right.
You know, there's little that you can do when you're stagnant. So we all know stagnation is not beneficial in any way, in any regards, when it comes to our health and when it comes to the body's ability to move about. So stretching, man, you just can't get around it. These are the excuses that we would hear. People would love to give any type of excuse that they can as to why they can't stretch, but simple movement and holding a certain position for, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, or however long you hold a position when you're stretching is the benefit. You know what I'm saying? It's not just sitting there, but it's actually stretching a muscle out and holding that position for an extended period of time in order to get that benefit of the increased blood flow and the stretching of the muscle and the increased pliability of the muscles and things of that nature.
Wow.
Yeah. And, and how, those tight muscles or stretched out muscles, how they can affect the health of your joints. Right. So, all those muscles are connected and surround all the joints in your body. So when those muscles are tight, guess what? You decrease the range of motion of those joints. And when you decrease the range of motion of a joint over an extended amount of time, weeks, months, years, that joint begins to break down. So what we find is people, as they age, begin to have knee problems. But the first issue before they even have, bone on bone or degeneration in the knee and all those things is we find that the muscles around the knee are very tight. And, so we'll have one in the office and they'll go through a couple stretches to stretch out their quads, stretch out their leg muscles. And they'll say, man, this is amazing. My knees feel better. Well, that's right, because your muscles are so tight that they collapse in that joint. It's decreasing your range of motion, and those muscles around that knee, the ligaments and all that stuff become inflamed. And when all that stuff is inflamed, and when there's all that lack of motion, there's no overturning of the fluid in the joint, all those things that need to happen, then you get joint pain. So before that arthritis and the bone on bone and all that stuff comes, the sign that you have years and years and years in advance is that tightness and stiffness of those knees.
I was thinking about a question to ask and the challenge and see, because of our audience, we get a lot of people that are like, okay, I'm going to stretch, I got to stretch. And Dr. Tipley, you had said earlier, hey, you just can't get around it. And I'm just sitting here thinking, man, cannot stretching cause cancer, or can stretching help you fight cancer? And I'll share a story with you guys. When I remember a patient coming in and terrible back pain, and she couldn't get any resolution. So what she did was she kind of just sat there. She took her meds and did whatever. But once she started getting adjusted, which means we were moving things in areas as far as restoring the proper biomechanics the way that the nervous system is supposed to be, all of a sudden that pain began to become more livid. So she went and got some imaging, and come to find out, because of the movement in the joint, because of the increased range of motion in the joint, we were able to actually detect the cancer earlier, and it saved her life. And this is from having proper flexibility. So dare I say, stretching can be something that can be supportive of helping you to fight cancer and decrease your chances of getting it.
Well, I can't speak on that because I'm not aware of the research behind it. But I will say this, when we think about any disorder, any disease that may manifest in the body, we all know that a particular lifestyle is important in helping us combat anything that the body, that we may come under fire against, any disease. So when we talk about that from a from a wellness perspective and all those things that can be done, I think, yes, stretching is definitely important and something that should be added in, because if you think about it like this, if you're a person, and I'm moving away from the cancer, but something as simple as weight loss and diet, developing diabetes or high blood pressure and things of that nature, one of the first things that a doctor is going to tell someone, you need to change your diet and you need to start exercising, regular exercise, right? So you start doing those things, but again, stretching is going to become an important part of that, because let's face it, someone that's overweight, obese, that's more pressure, more stress on the joints, which is going to cause the muscles to tighten up even more. Muscles and their range of motion is not the best. So incorporating stretching and all these things that again that we talk about when it comes to wellness is going to be a lot more of a benefit for the body.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So stretching alone, I'm not going to claim that stretching alone can cure anything, but it's going to definitely be a benefit to whatever it is that you have going on.
Yeah, it's really a facilitator, right? Stretching is a facilitator to better health, because better movement equals you being able to do all of the things that you need to do in order to get healthy. A lot of healthcare professionals on the wellness side of things really point to stretching as about the most important thing that you can do in order to turn your health around. Because it allows you to be able to walk. Yeah. It allows your body to circulate more. It helps with the immune system. You sleep better. You get all of these benefits from stretching. It really is that critical. And, in my opinion, it's the most overlooked thing that you can do to get healthy. Yeah. It's not the only thing you can do to get healthy, but it's the most overlooked thing that you can do in order to get healthy, because our practice members are coming in all day long, and that's one of the questions we asking them constantly. Are you stretching? Are you stretching? Well, nah, I haven't really been stretching. Well, that can contribute to why your hamstrings are so tight and why your knees bother, right? Or why your hamstrings are so tight and why your back hurts, or why that shoulder's so stiff and it's giving you issues, right? Because you're not stretching, or why that neck is so tight because your posture's like this all day and those muscles are tight, and that's why you're having pain and discomfort.
Yeah. So stretching, man, and there's a couple different things that people can do. If you've never stretched before, yoga is really good for helping you increase your
great
introduction to stretching. Tai Chi is something that's also good and beneficial to help get into stretching muscles. Or if you feel like yoga may not be for you, Tai Chi may not be for you, just get on the floor, get in an open space, and start stretching.
Right. Just move that body. It also helps to release toxins. Yeah.
And a healthy alternative, and one that I recommend, because sometimes I utilize myself, and going right back to technology, I'll go to YouTube and I'll put in 5-minute stretching, and someone will come on there for free. Now they'll do this for free. Now you this is from me. My gift to you in 2023 is to be as flexible and pliable as you can be, right? Yeah. So go to YouTube, 5-minute stretching, and you can pick any person. They could have a goat stretching you, right? That tall person, skinny, fat, anything you want, stretching you, showing you how to stretch, really helping you to have extreme benefit from some of the things that we're talking about right now.
Yeah. And one last thing I think you guys we probably should address is, when's the best time to stretch?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm going to tell you when it's not the best time to stretch. As soon as you get out of bed, not the best time to stretch. It is not, I repeat, not the best time to stretch.
Why do you say that?
Most of those injuries happen. Because when your body's the most tight and when your body's the most stiff. So, a lot of times practice members are coming to our office and they say, oh man, all I was doing is bending over to pick up a sock off the floor.
Okay, yeah. So there's a difference in bending over to pick up something versus bending over for a stretch.
Yes.
Yeah. So and I would just go the other way a little bit, because I really feel like stretching in the morning is one of the best things that you can do, because just like you had said earlier.
No, I didn't mean in the morning. Nah, I didn't mean
okay.
Don't stretch in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Get out the bed.
I meant don't stretch as soon as you get out of bed.
Okay.
Is that I really feel like you should move around a little bit
muscles up
before you get into that stretch. Warm those muscles up a little bit. Go brush your teeth. Go to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Maybe prepare breakfast, but stretching in the morning, I think, is the most beneficial time.
Okay.
To stretch.
Okay. Gotcha.
But not stretching when you first get out of bed, because that's when you're most stiff, and that's when you're most tight, and that's when you're most prone to injure yourself. So that's really, more specific. I'm glad you made that point, because more specifically, it's that first thing out of bed.
Gotcha.
And warm the muscles up. Warm them up. Vibrate a little bit. Just kind of twisting and bending a little bit, not aggressively, not hard, but just warming them up, getting some circulation in there before we can stretch, because our muscles have elastic fibers around them. And when we warm them up, we increase the health of them as far as with elasticity and stretching. So that's why, and this is what Dr. Everett was talking about with as far as causing yourself more harm.
I think another great time to stretch is right before bed as well.
Yes,
excellent time to stretch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you can get the most benefit, right? You moved around all day; those muscles are a little more loose. You can get the most benefit in stretching all the way down to those, to those tendons, around those joints,
and then just anytime, constantly, throughout the day, for the best benefit.
Because you want to counteract the stress that you're putting on your body. If you're sitting for 30 minutes, get up and stretch for a little bit, right? If you are walking on a hard surface for an hour, take a few minutes to stretch a little bit. So you want to counteract the stress that you're putting on your body by stretching.
Definitely.
I hope this helps.
Yes.
We always get on here. We always try to give folks things that can help them right now. And be direct about the information that we give them, because we want people to come away from listening to us with some tools and some tips that'll help them immediately. So stretching for better health.
Thank you for listening to Black Health by Evoke.
He who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything.
You can find us at www.evokingblackhealth.com or all social media platforms at Evoking Black Health.